Welcome back, team. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Thank you for checking out the channel. I hope you're all doing fantastic. I hope you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. And if that's the case, you know what to do. Pass that on and make someone else feel just as good as you are. Now, in this video, I'm troubleshooting a rough idle in my girlfriend's BMW 128i. So we're gonna start by looking at the spark plugs because I think one of them may have oil, and that's where the misfire is coming from. So without further ado, let's get to it. When talking about getting to the spark plugs in the E82 engine here, we are going to have to remove pretty much the entire cowl up here, the wipers, the cabin air filter, your battery connections, and also the engine cover, because you can get access to about 4 or 5 of the spark plugs, and then the very last one is going to be down there, so we need as much room as we can. So first things first, let's start up here and work our way down, starting with the wipers. Pro tip, if the wiper arms are really tough to remove, you can push down on the joint in the middle of the wiper arm while at the same time wiggling the base where it attaches to the motor back and forth. And if you need to replace your cabin air filter, now's a good time to do so. Now you're going to work on the corners here, and to remove these little end caps, there is a small grommet right here that you're going to have to push that way. But there's also going to be 2 clips. One clip is going to be right here, another clip right here. So use a tool and very lightly just pry it up. It doesn't take a lot of force. And then repeat that same process for the other side. There's a connector here that you have to disconnect, so pretty simple, just push down and pull that way. Now there's usually going to be a screw right here. This one is missing, but you will have another one on the other side. Once you take that off, then you will be able to move that entire plastic cowl piece up and down like this. Next, we have to undo the battery cables here. There's going to be 3 clips that you have to push down on. Use a flathead screwdriver and get in there. As you push down with the screwdriver, pull the connector out. That's a close-up of what the clips look like. Be very careful because otherwise they will break on you. Now you're gonna have 2 more rubber doohickeys, whatever they're called, on these edges right here of this cowl. There's one right here and one on the other side. So all you wanna do is you wanna kind of like pull them out of the way and then grab the cowl and pull out and up. There is also a rubber molding that's going to be down here. Be careful not to lose that. It might come off or it might not as you're pulling the cowl out. Now that the cowl is partially out, there is a wiring harness that goes along the bottom of it and is held on there by 3 clips. So you're gonna have to undo those. I felt like the easiest way to do that was to get a pick tool because it's a smaller space and a flathead usually won't fit unless you have a very thin flathead. But all you're doing is you're putting it into the clip, pressing down and pulling out. Same procedure as you did with this one. At this point, you can use a bungee strap or some tape or some wire or whatever you want to hold these out of the way. I usually just kind of leave them there and move them around as I need to, but if they're really in your way, just prop them up somehow. Now next, we take the engine cover off. Removal of the engine cover takes 3 hex bit number 5, and it will take a 10mm socket at the very back. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then your 10mm is right here. And from here you have access to the spark plugs and the coil packs and the connectors. I'll show you how to disconnect the coil packs from the spark plugs. You pull up, and as you're pulling up, the mere fact that you're pulling up is actually going to pull the connector out like that way. So as you pull up, don't grab on the wires here, grab on the base of it, and as you pull up, pull down. And that's what they look like. That's one. And then you can put your finger in here and pull straight up. And that's going to be your coil pack. I don't see much oil in this one, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if there is a pool of oil. I am going to actually be pulling all of them out just to check them out one by one. It's also a good idea to inspect your coil packs as you remove them. If you see any cracks forming, look really close. Any hairline cracks, anything like that, any discoloration, any burn marks, you're probably better off just replacing them, because I mean, let's face it, it's not the easiest process to get to them, so once you're here you might as well. Pro tip, if you don't have a verified spark plug wrench or socket or whatever, you can actually use a deep socket. So in this case it's going to be a 16mm deep, and use your extension, but you're also going to need a magnet. So once you loosen it, use your magnet to pull the spark plug out. Another double, triple, quadruple pro tip: even if you don't have a magnet to get those out, you can still use your coil pack. So the rubber piece here should mount the spark plug, and then you'll be able to just pull it out. So once it's loose, once you've loosened it with that deep 16mm, you can just do that. So now I ended up finding one spark plug that was actually submerged in oil. So one of the spark plug wells did have a lot of oil in it. The reason why there was oil in there, and if you guys ever have this, it's mostly because your valve cover gasket has gone. So you need to replace the valve cover gasket. Also, while you're there, let me show you a couple of other things that you need to look out for. This car definitely needs the valve cover gasket replaced. You can see down there it is full of oil. It's been accumulating for a while and there's nothing but crud, so it's leaking oil from down there. Also, if you look in here, it has oil accumulated, and that's most likely from the oil filler cap right here. You just got to be really careful whenever you top off your oil, otherwise you're going to end up with something like this. Now these valve covers are made out of plastic, so please look for any cracks. Usually you'll find them running up and down the length right here. The heat and the fact that it is plastic will eventually make the valve cover crack, and if that's the case, nothing you can do, just replace it. I would definitely buy it direct from BMW so you can have that peace of mind. Last but not least, you can see a lot of crud around this seal. Now this is the Valvetronic motor, and that's the Valvetronic motor seal. So you can see there's oil all over the motor and oil over on this side as well. Make sure that you look at all of those things so you can address all of your oil leaks in your N52. That's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for staying till the very end. If you found this video helpful, if you found it relative to you or to someone you know, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Hey, share it with a friend. Be good to each other, and I will see you on the next video.